Day 27 of the 30 days of singing, and it is indeed a Tuesday, and therefore in the little soprano world it is Technique Tuesday. And my technique tip of the day is to do with something that most people associate singing lessons with. When you think of having singing lessons, how many people, I wonder, imagine that it's all about, learning how to use your voice and doing lots of exercises to some vowels, the 5 vowels. Well, there's something that sometimes is left out of that equation, and that is the use of consonants. How do you actually form your consonants? Do you know which consonants you use that primarily are formed by the tip of the tongue? Can you think about them right now? Okay, let's just consider L, so L, and T. How about D? And how many consonants use the back of the tongue? Think about consonants where you actually employ the back of the tongue. Can you think of some? Let me give you some examples. You've got G, 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 and K, K, K. Yes? Can you feel that? All right, what about the lips? How about P and B, P, B, and even M, and oh no, what about N? What does N use? Well, it uses the tip of the tongue, but sometimes, these things are hard to imagine. And of course, putting it all together, mixing the vowels with the consonants to make and form words to sing, that's often kind of like a part of the equation that isn't really given enough consideration. Let's have a look at today's technique tip of the day. Here's my infographic. So what can you see? It says vowels are formed on a constant airstream. Consonants continually interrupt it. So they continually interrupt the airflow. All right? And thanks to the workings of the tongue, the lips and the teeth. Okay, so they are your articulators, the tongue, the lips and the teeth. And we use them together, not separately, to form consonants and to help shape vowels. So if you can imagine singing a song, singing a phrase, then you're going to be primarily concentrating on maintaining the airflow to the source of the sound, which is where your little vocal folds come together inside your larynx, and that's the moment when they come together and sound is eventually begun. Consonants, however, if you imagine, the analogy I use is, if you imagine the vowels as your washing that you're hanging on the line, the consonants are the pegs. They are the things that kind of, they hold the whole things up and make sense of what it is you're trying to say. But there are all sorts of inherent problems in how we form the consonants, because what happens is sometimes they can be a bit heavy or clunky or done in such a way that the airflow, the airstream for your vowel and your sound is interrupted and broken by consonants. And some of the biggest culprits of this are things like any consonant that has kind of air travelling through it. So what can we think of? They would be sh and s and h and even f. Okay, so when those consonants are in a word, it's almost like an absolute opportunity for the sound that you're making to become slightly kind of wobbly and broken, and maybe the other side of that consonant feels less easy than when you were singing before it. And it's because we have to kind of work out and learn how to negotiate the consonants as well as thinking about the vowels. Okay, now it's not as complicated as it may seem. It's just a question of getting on board with the idea that these are your tools as a singer for communicating with your audience. And within my Virtually Vocalese group, where I give a much more detailed explanation of today's technique tip of the day, I was just teasing them with some tongue twisters, and there are about, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tongue twisters, and just let me give you one to wrap things up for today. My favourite one, I think I said to them all, is this. So this is using a T, the T sound, where you actually make the T sound, which is just behind the front teeth with the tip of your tongue. Okay, and I've just remembered something else as well, something I was trying to put together in my memory. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. You can try saying that over and over. It just makes you aware of what's working to make those words. So here's a tongue twister that I really like, and it goes like this. Fingers crossed that I can do it. A tidy tiger tied her tie tighter to tidy her tiny tail. So you could try that. A tidy tiger tied her tie tighter to tidy her tiny tail. Okay, and I'll just give you one more because I'm feeling very generous today. Okay, here's another one. This is great for distinguishing between a th and a f. Th and f. 3 free thugs set 3 thugs free. Have a go at those. So in today's technique tip of the day, what you're introducing into your thinking is how do you go about enunciating the consonants as well as the vowels, and what part they play in interrupting the sound that you're trying to make. Okay? Alright, so that's day 27. More from me tomorrow as we come into the final finish, the last few days of my 30 days of singing. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.